Hello, friend. Thanks for pressing play. You just pressed play on Jock and Nerd, episode 94. And you know what that tells me? You have great taste in podcasts. We got all the latest geek news and this week's comic book TV show reviews for this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Friday, March 15th. Oh, shit. That's not March. It's Friday, April 15th, 2016.
Wowie zowie!
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
It's the Jock and Nerd Podcast with your hosts, Anthony and Imran.
Jock and Nerd! Hi-yo, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
And my name is Rug Boy.
He's the Rug Boy.
And he's the nerd.
If you're a regular to the show, you'll notice we're missing somebody. That would be the Jock, whose real name is Anthony. Well, gang, Anthony has the strep throat. So, yeah, that's why he's sitting this one out. It doesn't, when you have the strep, it hurts to talk. And I haven't had strep since I was a kid. Do they still check it the same way? You know how they check for strep, Rugs? You ever had this done?
Well, whenever I went to the nurse, she always stuck her finger in my slack hole. Is that how they check?
I think you were going to the wrong hospital, because that is not how they check.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah, hello, nurses. Right. No, they shove like a giant Q-tip down your throat to get a thing. Like, there isn't a better way to get this, to figure out how you have the strep. Oh, it's horrible. But
how is that not worse than getting your finger in your slack hole? It's the same thing.
It's a good point. It's a thing down a hole.
Yeah, someone's shoving something where it's not supposed to be.
It's so archaic. But Ruggs and I are here for you, the listener, because we love geeking out. And boy, is there a lot to geek out about if you're a new listener. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's going to go down. We're going to talk about this week's latest geek news, which there is a ton of. Then we're going to go through our favorite comic book TV shows, which is Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legends of Tomorrow, and Fear the Walking Dead. And then at the end, we got a little post show where we open up the seat and we hang out with you people on Blab, because we are live on the Blabs. But before all that, I got to address a couple of things. I want to make sure you guys checked out our last episode 93. We met an awesome, another listener turned podcast, Jim McPike. Ruggs, have you checked out the show yet?
Yeah, I listened to all of it, actually. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Jim was a first-time podcast guest, first time just being interviewed. We popped a lot of Nerd podcast cherries there, and he did a great job. Like, he was great. He came in dressed as Captain America. What more could I ask for? Really? And on that show, we mentioned our little ongoing conversation with one listener, David Zika, still going back to our Batman versus Superman review show. He wrote a very long, thought-out email. Ruggs, you got to skim this email, right?
Yeah, I read the email. I read it.
All right, well, look, I want to share some of this. It's really long. I don't want to read the whole thing. I have a couple of excerpts, and then we can comment. How's that sound?
Okay, go for the gold.
Okay, so he starts out, I love what he writes, because the guy's got an opinion. He starts out saying, I wasn't mad or hating. I liked the show. I just didn't agree with it, meaning the Batman versus Superman review show. On the other hand, I was frustrated because many of your comments just didn't make sense, whereas you guys usually do. For example, the urine in a jar. Either you weren't paying attention, or you were paying attention but have already forgotten, or you just can't figure it out. And then he mentions the bat suit. There was not a James Bond, the audience is stupid, show them the toy scene, but there were at least 2, maybe 3 scenes where Bruce and Alfred discussed developing and getting the suit ready.
Those are the stupidest points to make. First of all, I mean, not to rip on this guy, but we clearly knew what the urine in the jar was. We just thought it was unnecessary.
Yes, it was a little bit. I never thought that like a jar full of urine would be a huge thing. I mean, it wasn't a huge thing, but to even use that
into a jar of urine, it just was like out of place. That's all. Yeah, you can't admit that.
Next comment I pulled out was the Flash intro, where we said, you don't know who the Flash is. If you don't know why do you know it's the Flash? Who cares? It's a minor Easter egg. The whole multiverse idea is only there because so many people care more about making all the pieces fit than telling good stories. Okay, right there. Come on. That's telling good stories is what it should be about. Nothing else.
I agree.
Okay. Final comment. Well, not the final one. I got one more, but he says disorganized editing. I didn't think that. I didn't think they told you every minute of every character, but I was able to follow pretty easily. Just watched Hateful Eight. Much of it is told out of order, not criticized for being bad. I don't need to know everything, especially if it doesn't matter. Here's the problem with this comment.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Quentin Tarantino is an incredible storyteller who is the master of telling things out of order. That's what he does. That's what he's good at. That's what he's known for.
He writes things out of order on purpose to make it more exciting for you to watch.
Exactly. And anything like that handled by a lesser storyteller, it's not going to come off well. It's going to be a little bit mishandled. So here's the comment where he kind of lost all of us. He says, Winter Soldier was terrible.
Oh, shit.
Why do I care about this Bucky guy? He was a bit role in the first movie. People kept saying it was great. So I rewatched Captain America, rewatched Winter Soldier. Still don't like it. The story is not interesting. It's obvious and linear. I know everything because they tell you everything in a straight line, but give you no reason to care. Rug by comment.
Okay. This is complete asinine bullshit because Winter Soldier is just an extrapolation of the Red Hood, and the Red Hood is an extrapolation of Winter Soldier. So that whole thing where your Robin becomes your enemy,
yes,
happens in Batman. So
yes.
If you're fucking all up in Batman's ass crack, you gotta love the Winter Soldier because it's the same fucking thing, only told 10 times better. It makes more sense in a lot of a way.
I mean, if they ever deal with Jason Todd Robin, this is exactly what's gonna happen.
I'll give you this. The whole fact that they both survived, millennia, and didn't age, that's a little bit far-fetched. I'll give you that.
Yeah, the frozen and ice thing
it's essentially the same exact story as a Red Hood, where you turn your sidekick into your worst enemy. And it was a huge thing in the comics, and it was one of the best runs of Captain America. So this guy clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a DC fanboy. Now, David Zika, you don't like me, that's fine. Imran and Anthony, they're good guys. But
no,
I always would err on if you're gonna make a point, make a good point. And none of your points really refuted any of the facts that we said. But listen, you have a right to your opinion, and I respect you for even vocalizing it in this very hostile environment. So absolutely. I gotta give you kudos to that.
Oh yeah, he gets mad props for writing in, but this is kind of why I like this whole thing is we can all agree to disagree. And I love that he wrote in and disagrees. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a couple of other listeners that may or not have agreed with our Batman versus Superman review, but they know that that's just what makes us all great fans. We have difference of opinion, and they continue.
And don't get offended at how I'm responding to you. This is exactly how I would respond to Imran, and he's one of my best friends, or Anthony. If he said something, I would just tell him to go fuck off. It's not like I don't like you, but whatever. This is how I talk.
We expect that from the Rugs. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But I love having this debate. But all this, I really brought this up because it all got me thinking. I was like, where this would be great? This would be great if he had a Jock and Nerd Facebook group. Then we can all get to meet each other, learn our names, get into a debate. Well, guess what, everybody? We have a Jock and Nerd Facebook group.
Jock and Nerd.
Just visit jockandnerd.com/community or search Jock and Nerd Community on Facebook. I want everyone to join. It's better than having a Facebook page because, if you come to our Facebook page and post something, it gets shoved to the side in a little thing. Sometimes we don't see it. It's kind of annoying. They make you pay to get exposure. But with the group, it's a running forum thread. Everybody can jump in. I would love it if all our guest listeners join the Facebook group. Let's get to meet each other. Let's get to a first name basis. It's going to be lots of fun. And our lovely Blab assistant, Jordan Radford, is one of the admins, along with myself and Anthony. Ruggs, we got to figure out something for you. You need to get a Facebook profile.
Oh, man.
Rugberto Bambino Facebook profile.
All right. I'll get on it. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it.
Also, Jordan recently saw Batman versus Superman and tweeted us her quick Twitter review, and it goes like this. Just watch Batman v Superman, and it was a total clusterfuck, yet I was still entertained. We'll get her thoughts in the post show because I really want to know. I'd love to get a female perspective on this movie. I think that would be very interesting.
Sure.
Right? Okay, guys, here we go. Got a shit ton of news. Let's do it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
And again, we got to start with the BVS. The BVS DOJ. The BVS Doji. I think that's how you pronounce the abbreviation of this movie.
Okay.
Batman versus Superman. Let's check in with the box office. This thing is still making killer money. As of April 14th, 2016, it's made $302 million. Over $302 million domestic. And it broke 800 million. It's at 803 and some change worldwide.
Oh shit!
Which is, you think it'll get to $1 billion?
Well, I don't think it's gonna get to $1 billion. And let me tell you why. Here's why. In its second weekend, in the third weekend this movie was out, it faced another battle. And this was the battle. It was Batman v Superman v Melissa McCarthy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Guess who won that fucking battle?
Batman versus Fat Girl. Who was it?
Melissa McCarthy showed
That's
Batman
right.
versus Superman, who's the boss, by narrowly beating out the movie with her movie, The Boss, by just a little bit, but it knocked it to number 2.
Whoa.
Which is telling. Now, I think the problem is this movie is not coming out anywhere else. It's out everywhere that it's going to be. And in fact, it's going to be in less theaters moving forward. It's already starting to be removed. So with all that said, I don't think the insider people, whatever, they're saying it's going to get to the 900 million, but maybe not the billion. And it's being considered less profitable than Man of Steel already because of the $1 billion haul is unlikely.
Mm-hmm. So
Now,
Man of Steel cost less and made a lot of money.
Correct. So there's a rumor that they may release the extended R-rated version in theaters this summer to boost the box office.
Oh shit!
So it will technically be the same movie making to get the extra money, so they can have those bragging rights.
Yeah, it seems a little bit desperate there.
Like cheating. Yeah,
a little bit cheating too. A little bit of cheating. Let the movie
got to cheat.
They got to cheat to get to the movie. But it's weird, man. I got a bunch of articles I'll put in the show notes. It's like a movie that tops 300 million feels like a flop. It's very strange. It's made all this money. Jordan the Pies asks, what's different in the R-rated version? I think it's going to be a little bit more violence, a little bit more extended scenes, possibly, if they're expanding it. This movie originally was a 4-hour movie. They cut it down to 2.5. He had a 4-hour cut to start with and whittled it down. And just that's where the kind of the storytelling fell apart a little bit.
Yeah, they should just give someone else with talent all that footage and see if they can make something out of this movie.
It's funny you mentioned that because another report's come out that Warner Brothers are taking Justice League in a different direction. Based on a new report from Variety, it seems that Warner Brothers has decided to get more involved in the big picture elements of the DCEU. This guy writes, I'm told production executive John Berg and Time Warner CEO Jeff Bukes are taking more of a hands-on approach now, paying closer attention to overarching story concerns, but someone well-versed in both production and DC's minutia is what's needed. They need someone like a Kevin Feige, you know?
All right, I'll pack my bags and go there. See if I can help out.
Rags, I think you will be the perfect person for this job. You're not doing anything.
I really am not. Just this podcast. That's about it. And walking dogs, basically.
And you could do it from the basement. How's the dog walking business going, by the way?
Well, I don't really walk them. I just open the door and let them out. That's all I have to do. That's my job.
That's the best
Isn't that the greatest job? Craigslist. It's the best.
That's the best job ever. Now, if you've seen the movie BVS, you know that one of the few highlights was Ben Affleck's Batman. Ruggs, do you agree?
Batfleck.
I think probably one of the best Batflecks, best Batman we've seen on screen. Definitely different, interesting, brooding Batman. So it's confirmed that Ben Affleck is not only starring in a standalone movie, he's writing and directing this movie.
That could be a good move because now, Ben Affleck is not an idiot.
Yes.
He's written He's co-written, Good Will Hunting. He's directed his own movies that he's written. I think he wrote one of those movies, right? Or
Argo or Town. Yeah, no, man. Anything that he is behind acting and directing, it nails it. Now, this begs a couple of questions, Ruggs. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think Zack Snyder should be anywhere near this movie? Let me just say,
no.
Just as a visual consultant, maybe.
I mean, I think Ben Affleck can handle it all by himself.
I think he can. I think you just let him go. The only problem I see with all of this, and I'm not going to be like ageist or anything, but it's the fact the age Affleck is. It's the fact that he kind of has to play an older, later career Batman. You could de-age him a little bit with CGI, but only so much to make it believable. So, Ruggs, do you think this is a problem that he has to play Batman at the end of his career, and maybe that's the only Batman he can play?
Well, I mean, if you look at Christian Bale and everything, there's no real huge age difference. Like when you look at them both, and he was good for 3 Batman movies, and Michael Keaton started playing Batman at 40.
Oh, that's a good point.
So we haven't ever had a young Batman. We haven't.
It's all relative. So yeah, it could still work. I think you dye his hair a little bit, clean shaven, you cut 20 years off his life. It works if you want.
Christian Bale when he did Batman Begins? He was 37 or something.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm not looking it up. Somebody look it up. But okay. I'm behind that because that was my main concern. But hot damn, I want to see a Batfleck written, directed solo standalone movie, and it's happening, and they're gonna get it done. Now, if you want to check out some cool Batman movies that are coming out, check out. It's coming out later this year. Batman Killing Joke.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
The animated adaptation, and it's been confirmed. DC Universe has been making these full featured animation movies for 8 years. This is the first R-rated cartoon they're going to do.
Oh shit!
That's awesome. That is awesome. Not only that, it's Bruce Timm. It's Kevin Conroy voicing Batman. It's Mark Hamill voicing the Joker. This is like a grown-up, adult, mature version of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, I don't get why they have such brilliant people working in animation, and none of these people can translate over to film and help guide. All these people, they're like, where's this mystery guy that's going to help guide the DC universe? Well, they're all in the animation department. Go fucking find them.
Jay Olivia is an amazing animation director and designer, and he's done a lot of these movies. Go ask him some questions and get some suggestions from Jay Olivia.
Yeah, it's right there. They're in the same fucking studio.
There's a trailer out for Batman Killing Joke. I'm going to put it in the chat here. It's okay. It shows kind of the dark look of the movie. If you've read The Killing Joke, which I highly recommend, Alan Moore and Brian Bolland, get the book before watching the movie. This is going to be an intense, very mature, dark movie. I cannot wait.
I know. It's going to be awesome. There's some shots in there that look like they're pulled right out of the comic.
Absolutely. They nailed the whole Brian Bolland-esque artwork. Sticking with the DC EU for a second, we got a new trailer for the Suicide Squad. Ruggs, you seen this?
Yes, I did.
What did you think about trailer number 3 of the Suicide Squad, directed by David Ayer? Jordan's got it right there in the thing. I love the beginning of it where the White House official is like, what if Superman decided to fly down, rip off the roof of the White House, and grab the president right out of the Oval Office? Who would stop him? Which kind of is the reason for forming the Suicide Squad with Amanda Waller.
Well, that's cool and all, but I don't think anybody could really hold a candle to Superman. They would immediately get their ass kicked. All of those people. I
like that it's kind of a nod to like Superman 2, where like Zod and his crew come and they kind of do that. They overtake the White House.
Yeah. I mean, look, it looks good. I feel like this movie's going to be cool. There's a couple of shots of Harley Quinn that are a little sexy.
Oh, yeah. Very.
That's all you really need. I mean, looks like there's going to be lots of guns. There's going to be a little Batman cameo and a flashback or something.
We see a lot more Batman in this movie. I think it's going to be flashback and present day, because at some point by the end, you got to imagine that Joker and Harley Quinn get away. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the flashback will be how Joker got into the where they are in the prison, and then he gets out, and then at the end, Bat shows up. There's a little scuffle. Joker and Harley get away. Here's what is Margot Robbie doing a little Jersey accent in there? Did you notice that at all?
I can't really tell what kind of accent she's doing.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like it could be East Coast, but I'm not really sure. It's not really heavy.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Like the one from the cartoon is very heavy.
Oh, it's very heavy. But here's a couple of things I love about this trailer. Diablo looks amazing now. He's got a lot of screen time. And he's just bursting fire from his hands. It's badass.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I want to see how everybody works out. There's kind of a two-face shot of the Joker with his face fucked up on one side. I don't know what that's about.
That looks awesome. Let me tell you, the more I see of this Joker, the more I'm really excited to see him do this Joker. Apparently, he hung out with patients at a mental asylum. Jared Leto got way deep into this role.
Yeah, he's method, dude.
He's very method. But you know what? I kind of like it. I kind of like when he shows up and Harley's like, uh-oh. Is he the villain? Are they there to take him down? He seems to be one of the main antagonists.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of Joker is a different Joker from the comics. It's very different. I don't know how it's going to play. I feel like that I'm looking at it positively. It could be cool. It's a different take, and that's not, as long as it's creative and it still holds the essence of Joker, I'm down. But I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not all in yet.
Yeah, I love this different take. We got to see Harley's hammer a little bit, her big sledgehammer.
Yeah.
There was a quick shot of that, and what the fuck are those alien creature things? What is going on there?
I have no idea. Maybe that's why they busted them out.
Killer Croc looks great too. I love all his shots. I think his makeup looks really good. Look, the main reason I'm excited about this is the DC Warner Brothers real chance to show that this universe is going to be good. They can almost redeem themselves a little bit because it's David Ayers. It has nothing to do with Zack Snyder and Ayers. So we heard that there were going to be reshoots, 3 weeks worth of reshoots, and spending millions of dollars. And he addressed the rumors that he was doing this because of the fallout from Batman vs. Superman. He says this is not the case. And I actually love what he said about this. Basically, he tweeted, says, reshoots for humor is silly. When a studio loves your movie and asks what else you got, you go for it. I love that sentiment. That's exactly right. Why wouldn't you add more shit if they're like, what else you want to put in here?
But reshoots sounds like you're redoing something.
It does sound like you fuck something up and you got to do it again.
They should have a different word for it, additional footage.
Additional principal photography was necessary for the making of this movie.
Yeah, not reshoots.
That's a good point.
Sounds like you fuck something up and you have to redo it again. All of a sudden there's a jet plane, sound where you have Joker talking. You're like, oh, we got to redo that.
Yeah. That's just semantics. I'm excited for this. I want the DCEU to be good. Right? Nobody wants this to be bad. I want this shit to be good. And this movie has got me geeked.
I have to say one thing.
Okay.
All right. This shows you in a way that you still need Batman to prop everything up.
Unfortunately. You still got to shove Batman and everything because look, they're showing you more Batman. They were like, oh, people like the Batman, or they could have this trailer could have been cut before all this and they were going to show this anyways. I don't know.
It just blows my mind how many people just love Batman. Just think about that shit.
Yeah. Everyone loves the Batman. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. It's just
definitely struck a chord with people because who would be thinking that people would be sitting there having arguments over a guy that dresses up like a bat and fucking drives around in a car and it's crazy. And people it's like a religion to some people.
The guy's a little bit psychotic if you actually think about what he's doing and why. He's not all there. He's one, as if you read The Killing Joke, one of the points in there is that he's one day away from being the Joker, from being someone who is in Arkham as opposed to someone who puts people in Arkham. It's really that close.
It's true. He's fucking psycho.
Which is the beauty of it. Okay, let's move on to the MCU. We got another trailer, people.
Shit.
Man, this week, let me tell you, this is one of the weeks that I wish we had a daily show because I wanted to podcast every day. Every day something came out and I was like, I wish we had a show today. Doctor Strange. It was Marvel Week on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Everybody was on, and on Tuesday, they broke the teaser for the first Doctor Strange movie. Ruggs, what'd you think of this?
Well, it looks good. I mean, they show you just enough to get you like a little interested. They wet your whistle a little bit.
Jordan says, drink. Yeah. But they did a good. Jordan says this is the trailer of the year, and you know she's a Cumberbitch fan. We're all gonna be Cumberbitches, like I said in the last show. They did a good job of setting up what it is. I think people who don't know Doctor Strange, you get the fact that he was kind of a brash dick doctor. There was an accident. He couldn't use his hands. He goes on a trip to fix his hands. I love that they're staying true to the comics origin, right down to the car accident that causes him to damage his hands.
Yeah.
And he has an American accent, the Cumberpatch does.
He should. He never was British.
Yeah, it's a good point. But if he had just done his voice, I still would have bought it because Strange is kind of that kind of character. You know?
Listen, I think Benedict Cumberbatch went and was like, "Yo, let me talk about this Doctor Strange dude. He's American, right? Well, I'm doing an American accent. That's it.
That's
and
good.
Then if you ever watch the Doctor Strange animation, which is actually not too bad, if you ever watch that, yeah, they have it on Netflix, I believe, or they used to have it on Netflix. I don't know where it is now. But yeah, he's American in that too. So anytime I've seen a incarnation of Doctor Strange, he's always been American. So
it's a very well cut trailer. I love the voiceover. I love that you get that he's jaded. He doesn't believe in this mystical shit. And then by the end, when you see the bald Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One, what'd you think of her look in this?
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be. Did they whitewash that character too? Was she supposed to be Asian, and then they made her Tilda Swinton?
I believe it was like an Asian man, and now it's Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, well, they gender swapped, and then they whitewashed.
But I love seeing the astral plane. I love that bit where she shoves him, and then you see him floating. Oh, and I love that it's so trippy and mind-bendy. And of course, you're gonna the comparisons to Inception are coming up with that whole scene.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, with the whole yeah, you know what? It's okay. We'll see how they use that. He's falling through. You could see that, and the city is folding on itself.
It looks like they're using, scientific things to kind of explain, like not scientific things, but the way space folds in on itself,
or physics,
in some of these multi-dimensional theories, so they're kind of using some of that scientific shit into the magic to kind of legitimize it a little bit.
And I like how I like how in Ant-Man we got a little bit of just a weird microverse to give us a taste of some crazy shit like that, right? I like that we don't see him in full costume, even at the end. You just see him in shadow with the cape. Which, have you noticed every poster he's on, it's his back?
Yeah.
If you look up the poster for Star Trek Into Darkness,
maybe he's not wearing pants.
The Imitation Game and the Doctor Strange poster, it's all Benedict Cumberbatch facing away from the camera. You just see his back. I don't know why he does that. It's funny. And Scott Derrickson directing, who is a horror movie director, and you really get a sense of some of that in this trailer.
I'm excited for this movie. It looks like it's going to be decent.
I'm stoked. I believe it's coming out in November. But before that, we got another big thing we got to talk about. Captain America Civil War had its premiere. It's been screened. The reviews are out. And I like you, Ruggs, I believe we don't want to see anymore. Jordan is playing this one clip. It's the only thing I watched. And it's a great conversation between Tony and Steve. And I just love it because you see the Vision wearing like a sweater, a V-neck sweater. That it's just awesome. I don't know why. That just makes me that gives me the Vision wearing a sweater. It shouldn't really be that much, but it's awesome.
What else would he wear? He would walk around naked?
I mean, he doesn't have any junk. He doesn't have to wear pants if he didn't want to. He could.
How does he hook up with Scarlet Witch if he doesn't have a dong?
I don't know. She's got to interface with his circuits,
Oh, but she's a witch. She can make anything she wants happen.
He's got like a USB dongle, maybe.
he's got no dong, but he's got a dongle.
He's got a dongle and a HDMI port. Look, this movie being shown a month before really tells me that they're very confident about this movie. And now I'm trying not to spoil it, but the reviews already are like, this movie's amazing. It's on Rotten Tomatoes with a total of 18 reviews. It's at 94%.
DC, you should look at this. And David Zika virus, you should look at this too. There's a reason that there's a bug virus named after you.
Listen, this is how heroes should fight. And look, I bought my ticket earlier today for day one for opening day. I will be there. I cannot wait. Now,
when are we gonna do a review show about this?
I don't know. As soon as all you fuckers watch it and we can get on and review it, it's gonna be fun. I'm so excited. The problem is it's gonna be hard to avoid any more TV spoilers, reviews. Like I don't want to see anymore. I just want to see the movie. So I'm imposing a self-inflicted media blackout on anything Civil War until the thing comes out.
It's easy for me to skip all this shit because I just watch DVR. I skipped all the commercials anyway.
Yeah, no, I do that too. So, but when you scroll through your Facebook page, people are going to have spoilers. You see just headlines and you try not to watch or read it.
Facebook.
You don't have Facebook, so you don't have that problem. Now, as we all know, in this movie, we are going to be introduced to one Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Geek boner.
And we have some news about the Spider-Man reboot coming out in 2017. Ruggs, the title is official. The one you didn't like. This movie is going to be called Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I figured.
Now look at this lovely logo. Listener, check the show notes. If you haven't seen it, jockandnerd.com/94. I'm going to describe it real quick. It is a playful logo title, a yellow font with a slight curve and the word homecoming underneath in a handwritten font. And the O has a little spider icon in it. Ruggs, what do you think of just the design of the logo?
It's fine.
I think it's really telling what kind of movie we're going to get.
It looks like it's going to be a Spider-Man movie.
Well, it's going to be a very playful Spider-Man movie. It almost looks like a cartoon logo for a cartoon show. Though.
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of. It seems like it's kind of geared to younger kids.
Jordan says it looks like they made it in PowerPoint.
Oh shit!
Oh snap! But you know what? It's kind of in line with their naming of their other movies. If you think about Captain America: The First Avenger, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Thor: The Dark World, outside of the Iron Man movies that have numbers. I like that they don't kind of do the number thing.
Yeah.
So here's what we know about this movie so far. There's a bunch of shit. The deal with Sony and Marvel is that it's a Marvel Studios movie distributed by Sony, but Marvel's handling the creative side, which is wonderful. That's how it should be.
So Sony's just putting it out.
Yep. I think they've learned a lesson or two from the past Spider-Man movies that they kind of flopped on.
So who makes the money on this? They split it?
I don't know what the split is. That's a really good question because it's gonna make some change. The homecoming part, it works on several levels as we talked. Coming home to Marvel. It's a high school. We know it's gonna be young Peter Parker. He's gonna be 15. It's a coming of age story. Director John Watts and writers Jonathan M. Goldstein and John Francis Daly have said that they've confirmed their version of Spider-Man will be a coming of age story. It's a teenage Peter Parker. And remember we said it's kind of like a John Hughes vibe. So it's humor and it's fun. That's what this logo tells me. Kevin Feige has said that there are no restrictions on which MCU characters can or can't appear. And you would think that maybe RDJ would do a cameo as Tony Stark. I think he's kind of hinted at that, but no,
yeah, that would be cool as well.
Right? We will see a younger Aunt May in Marissa Tomei, also something we haven't really seen before. There will be a non-J.K. Simmons J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, well, at least I like Aunt May.
Do you know what I read? Who they might be looking at for J. Jonah Jameson? This is kind of awesome.
Okay, who's that?
Ice fucking Cube.
Oh shit.
Ice Cube as J. Jonah Jameson. Now, think of him in the 21 Jump Street movies. I think he'd be perfect as J. Jonah Jameson. Him yelling.
Ice Cube?
Ice Cube.
I love Ice You, but come on, give me a fucking break. I don't think that's good.
Look, and for all intents and purposes, Barbershop's coming out. He's got the those family movies. Look, in the Jump Street movies, he's kind of J. Jonah Jameson. He's just like a big dick who yells at them.
Yeah, but his acting is terrible in that.
Yeah. Well,
he's always the same guy. You never like. He's always just Ice Cube being a person.
Yeah, no, that's what he's gonna be. I mean, it's not gonna live up to J.K. Simmons, who was the best fucking.
No fucking way. I mean, you can get like Idris Elba to be fucking J. Jonah Jameson. He could fucking do it. You know, like anybody else but Ice Cube. Like the guy can't act. I don't care if he's black. I just don't. He's just not a good actor.
How funny!
I love Ice Cube, but I mean, come on. I mean, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's Spider-Man. Who gives a fuck?
Okay. We also know it's not an origin story. That's awesome. Everybody and their mother knows how this happens. Babies know how Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man. Please don't show us this again. And they're not going to show us this again. We know a Stark Industries suit will probably be present, given how what we saw in the trailer that Tony Stark. You know, Pete's on Team Cap. He probably gave him the suit. So that's why I think maybe RDJ will be in there. Hopefully Sony has learned from their past mistakes and they won't meddle and they'll just let Marvel make the movie. You guys put it out. Hopefully this will erase emo Peter Parker dancing from everyone's memory. I would love for that to be erased from our minds.
Well, for me, Andrew Garfield was great and he helped erase that memory for me.
That's okay. That is true. Now, regarding the villain, this is where stuff gets a little bit interesting. Michael Keaton is in talks to play the villain that's rumored to be possibly the Vulture.
Geek boner.
This Michael Keaton from Batman to Birdman to the Vulture. It's Batman versus Spider-Man, everybody.
Oh, shit.
What do you think about that, Ruggs?
Yeah, the Vulture's not really Spider-Man's coolest bad guy.
No, but Sam Raimi wanted to use him if he was going to do Spider-Man 4.
Well, that's cool. I mean, a flying old guy is fine.
I mean, he could be, maybe he's like a teacher of Peter's and, there's going to be some kind of connection. But, I thought who else Michael Keaton who could play a good villain? He could be a good Jackal.
Yeah.
He could be a good Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Green Goblin. He could be maybe a Moreland. That would be a little far-fetched. He could make a good Mysterio.
Mysterio would be cool.
But I think here's the thing. Devin Faraci called this title before it was confirmed. Faraci also called Michael Keaton was involved. Faraci also has come out and said that it's going to be the Vulture. Faraci, he gets all these scoops, man. So I feel like we're going to see Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
I think visually the Vulture would be cool because you got flying around and shit. And then you could be chasing them, which is cool. I don't know. I mean, Mysterio would be like a lot of crazy shit could happen with that because it's all effects and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we have Falcon, so like now there's gonna be another flying around flight suit harness guy, but whatever. The Vulture would be awesome. This just dropped today. There's more casting revealed. Deadline reports Tony Revolori, who starred in the Grand Budapest Hotel, has been cast as a nemesis at school, but not a supervillain. Maybe Flash Thompson. Then the Wrap reports actress Laura Harrier from One Life to Live is joining the cast in a significant role, and they're joining already cast member Zendaya. Now, this is a great diverse cast right here. Tony is Guatemalan. Laura is African American, and Zendaya is Zendanese. I don't know what she is. Maybe she's a space alien. That sounds like a space alien name. But
Zendanese is a real thing.
No, I just made that up.
Oh, I fucking bought that shit.
Gotcha. But I already love the diversity in this cast and what they're doing. It's fantastic. This is going to be great. John Watts directing, who did Cop Car, coming out 2017. Of course, look at me. I can't be more geek for this Spider-Man movie. You know, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Moving on to some Fox Marvel news. To the surprise of no one, Deadpool 2 officially announced.
Cool.
With Cable. The whole creative team is back, people. Ryan Reynolds, Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick writing, and Tim Miller. There's no release date for the sequel. Now, Ruggs, let me ask you this question. The fact that this movie was made on a tiny budget and made shitloads of money, do you think they should make this on a similar budget?
I think they should do close to doubling it.
Oh, really? I think because I think the special effects because it used a little bit more monies.
Yeah,
but I just, you don't want to. I don't want it to be like you give them 250 million and just it's too. Sometimes it's too much.
Way. That's too much money. You got it. Like what was it? 70 million?
It was like 60 million. So 120.
100. Just make it a cool 100.
Yeah, that okay. I'll go with that. Let's give them.
They'll make their money back easily on the first weekend.
Absolutely, but
that's a safe bet.
Yeah, but I love having these filmmakers go up against the challenges with a smaller budget. But man, yeah, let's round it up to 100 million, and it could still feel like kind of a low budget fun.
That's another 40 million bucks. They could do it.
That's nothing. They made that in like an hour when this movie came out.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Marvel on Netflix. Daredevil's Charlie Cox kind of let it slip when the Defenders is going to start filming. He didn't have any news about Daredevil season 3, but he said what we know is at the end of this year, we're going to be making the Defenders. And of course, Daredevil is very much part of that foursome. I think Hornhead gets the team together. So we're going to have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and then a Defenders. So if they're filming late this year, it's probably going to come out the second half of 2017, possibly.
I see like be a long time before the season 3 of Daredevil then.
Yes. It's going to be a long time, but they gotta get to the Defenders. Everybody, they were contracted for these 5 series is Defenders being the 5th one. So,
but they left Daredevil with this hanging thing with Elektra.
I know, and now we're gonna have to wait.
And you have to wait over a year and a half for that. That's bullshit.
Possibly a year and a half or 2 years. But you know what? They could address some of that. There's no reason they could address some of that in the Defenders.
They could.
Also, the showrunners from season 2 are the showrunners for the Defenders series. Very good news. Because they know how
Stephen S.D. Knight. He stayed.
No, not him. The guys who did the second season, which is Douglas Petrie and Marco Ramirez, and Drew Goddard will also return as executive producer. So pretty much the same showrunners from the second season who proved to us they can handle like a bunch of characters and different storylines. This is gonna be a great exercise for them to get the 4 of these together and give everyone enough time and story to get a really satisfying Defenders series on Netflix. It's gonna be awesome.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Moving on to another Netflix show, Luke Cage, that will come out later this year. The people making this they're saying this is going to be the Wire of Marvel television.
Geek boner.
The Wire being that awesome crime HBO series. I love that they're comparing this to The Wire. That's awesome. That's what.
So it's going to be like really street level.
Yes. Now,
gritty.
Yes, and here's how they add the grit. This news got me really excited. The showrunner Chio Hodari Coker, who also wrote the first 2 episodes of Luke Cage, he had this to say. He says it's very sophisticated. I mean, it's got a 90s hip hop vibe, but it's really forward thinking. We have composer / music producer Adrian Young and Ali Shaheed Muhammad from the Tribe Called Quest doing the scoring from us.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, are you kidding me? Fucking Tribe Called Quest is doing the music for Luke Cage. This gets better and better. They said they have a lot of different musical appearances, but at the same time, we've got the Marvel action. We've got drama. He's like, I would like this to be, I know this is heavy, but the Wire of Marvel television. Oh, this is fantastic, man. I can't wait for this. This is, it's going to be dope. And like it's set in Harlem, so we're gonna see some music, we're gonna see some gritty street action and social issues. I cannot wait.
I feel like Luke Cage is kind of like sarcastic and a little bit lighter than what we've seen so far from Marvel TV. He might be a little bit more, it might be more funny, but like they're saying that it's not gonna be funny, it's gonna be like The Wire.
The Wire is not funny, but you put in elements of humor into drama properly. And it works well. Like, really, it should be a mix of everything. It shouldn't be one thing, just like life. It should be funny. It should make you cry. It should make you scared. And it should be gritty,
Like The Sopranos.
Like The Sopranos, exactly. It's a perfect example. Like, the show is dark and darkly comic, and it made you root for psychopaths, which was unbelievable.
Indeed. I missed that show.
Yeah. I miss James Gandolfini.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. The fact, people. All right. Enough of the Marvel stuff. We have some other geek trailer that came out that's gonna make Rugs go
Geek boner.
maybe. Of course, I'm talking about the new Godzilla Resurgence trailer from Japan. Toho
Or if you're
Godzilla.
Japanese, you call it Shin Gojira.
Shin Gojira.
That's
This trailer, link in the show notes if you haven't seen it. It's very quick. It's 30 seconds. But hot damn, it starts right out with Godzilla, like first frame, right? Pretty much. You see him right away and you hear the scream. Rugs, you are the Godzilla fan / experts. What did you think about this trailer, first of all?
Well, this is it's hard. I'm kind of like on the fence again. I'm a fence sitter. I like to sit on the fence.
You fucking pole sitter. I mean,
Yeah. All right. So obviously, if you ever seen a Japanese Godzilla movie, they're low budget as fuck. Like they're on a sound stage. You know, they're building miniatures. You know, that obviously don't look real. Some people love these miniatures that they built for Godzilla to stomp on. They've kind of went the other way. They kind of are trying to ground it in reality, and it looks like a real city, and they've composited it well using computer graphics and making it look like he's really there. And
I love the scale of him in the shots with the tail going over and him towering over the buildings.
But
it's
I'm
very
a little
modern.
worried.
It's modern looking. You're right. What are you worried?
I'm very
about?
worried about he's not really doing anything.
He's just kind
Like
of
the first shot that they show Godzilla roaring, it's obviously a puppet. He's doing just like this.
Yeah. Rugs, you should have. They should have had you fill in for that
Yeah,
role. You
I
did that
could've
very
done-
well. You did it very well.
Yeah, see, like it's obviously a puppet.
Look
But,
at that tail, though. Jesus. It's
Yeah,
huge.
well, big deal. It's a tail. His tail is very long, but he's not really doing anything. He's just kind of standing there, and he's got these little tiny like T-Rex arms, and that's not what got that. It's just weird. That doesn't really fit him. But you know what? I'm hoping that there's more. I'm hoping that there's more. Like, look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna eat my words. Okay.
Okay.
He actually looks pretty cool, except for the small arms.
The tiny arms. You and Anthony keep referencing the tiny arms, and it's starting to bother me now. Now, look, Rugs, for the casual fan, the listener, why don't you tell us what are the traits that a good Godzilla should have that are maybe lacking from this Gojira?
Well, the thing about Godzilla is that it depends. There's a million kinds of different Godzillas. If there's like 30 movies and he looks different in every one slightly. And some traits go, some traits come. But the things that if you're gonna stick with the original, you got a bunch of things. You got like the way the spines look. They have to be in that kind of like it looks kind of like a tree.
Yeah.
Like they have like almost like a Christmas tree. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of feathered out that way. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got fangs in the original movie. All right. He's got one row of teeth, not a million rows of teeth like this guy has. All right. What else? I just read this shit on Facebook somewhere. She should have 4 claws on each hand, and they should be bone colored. All of these things were on the original. And he's got to have 3 rows of fins, all that stuff. And he should be proportionate to a human being,
So the arms just need to be proportionate to his body instead of being like T-Rex arms.
Because he's not a T-Rex. He's something else. In fact, Gojira means whale gorilla or gorilla whale, if you translate it in Japanese. So he's supposed to be something completely different than a dinosaur.
Look at this. The Rug Boy is bilingual, everybody.
Oh shit.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Rugs, Frederick J. Bird in the chat says, did you see the last Japanese Godzilla? That too was CGI Godzilla, though poor quality.
What the fuck is he talking about?
What was the Japanese Godzilla before this?
The last Japanese Godzilla was Final Wars.
Yeah.
And it wasn't CG. It was a suit.
They're all suits, right?
Yeah, it was a suit.
Frederick J. Bird says, I love the moment you first see Godzilla in the original. Or I love I kind of like the red kind of thing, but it's a very short trailer, just 30 seconds. And it's coming
there's a longer one. There's a longer one that's like a minute long.
Oh, I
but
didn't see that.
It's the same. You see the same shit. It's like really like you see the same amount of Godzilla.
Yo, we got lots of furries in the house. Thanks for hanging out. Cosmo Fox says, bring back Mecha Godzilla. We got some
Absolutely.
we got some furry Godzilla fans. I love it.
I feel like that this is a puppet that they're using. They even said it's like they're not using a guy in a suit. They're using like the guy's inside the puppet.
Oh, so a bunch of people.
So his arm is like working the top of the mouth and stuff in the head.
Kind of like Jabba the Hutt, where it was like 8 people.
Well, kind of like Big Bird, if you want to say it. Like,
yes, Carol Spinney on Sesame Street. He actually, his hand goes straight up into the mouth of Big Bird, which
that's why he's got the longer neck.
That's got to be fucking tiring, though. Let me tell you what. You got to walk around with your hand up in there all the time.
And I think that they're going to animate the little tiny hands via, graphics. I think it's like a whole thing. I don't know. I can't wait to see how they made it. But to me, it looks like the tail's animated by computer graphics and whipping around, and everything else is just kind of static. And they're just kind of like, it's like he's just being pushed on a cart with those legs. You know, like that thing where like the legs move up and down, but then like he's just being pushed on a cart.
It's like a Spike Lee shot. It's that where he's just tracking. He's not walking, but he's moving forward. Look, I like the little modernization of the look of the film.
No, it looks great. Yeah. I mean, the polish of the film, it looks like a real fucking thing. I mean, it looks TV quality, American TV quality. It doesn't look quite American film level. Yeah, but like Gareth Evans' Godzilla was just there's nothing going to happen that's that good from Japan.
I think our boy John Bellotti Jr. Was like this trailer.
Yeah. Well, that's to be expected.
Yeah, he likes anything Godzilla.
He is so. John Bellotti has such a respect for Japan. Like he's all about these Japanese guys. Yeah, which they're cool and all, but I mean, we gotta like. Let's look at the grand scheme of like of art, the art of making effects, and we just are killing them left and right. There's no way we're even anywhere near. They're nowhere near us. We're the pinnacle.
He suffers from look, this is the same thing that's happening with Batman versus Superman. I'm just gonna call it fanboyitis, where you are just a huge fanboy and you're blinded by anything and you want it to be good and you just think everything's good. The jock just showed up in the chat room. Fucking old good earth to you, Anthony, old strep throat jock.
Oh, Godzilla got him up. Like
Godzilla. Oh shit, I gotta fucking we're done talking about Godzilla. You missed it. Moving on to the next thing. We've talked about Avatar in the past. We've talked about how this movie was huge, but nobody talks about it. Well, James Cameron has announced Avatar is going to get a sequel. Not one sequel, not 2 sequels, 4 motherfucking sequels.
Geek boner.
Now,
that's too many.
I think it's a little
I think one would have been good.
Check it out at the 20th Century Fox panel in CinemaCon, where a lot of this stuff broke. CinemaCon. He's talking about Avatar coming out in the years 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2023, all Christmas releases.
Isn't he gonna be dead by then? He's like 70 years old.
He's like in his 60s, and by the time the last movie comes out, but you know what? George Miller was 73 when he made fucking this Mad Max movie. It could be done. Look, true. By the time this first sequel comes out, it'll be 9 years since the Avatar come out. I don't even know if anyone is going to remember what the fuck Avatar is. Remember the Pandora and the Na'vi and Unobtainium? But clearly he's got lots of stories. He said that these are going to be standalone films, but they're going to have like an overarching connection. And there was talk of like an underwater thing. Anthony says, what movies is he going to copy this time? That's a good question, because the only complaint to Avatar is that it's not really original story.
Well, they should just keep copying like Indian versus like white men movies. like they should do The Revenant.
Well, they can redo The Revenant.
Yeah.
It was Dances with Wolves meets Pocahontas meets Ferngully meets that. It's an old story, obviously. Yeah. It's been done over and over again. But I don't know. He must have. Look, this is Cameron, man. He's never put out a bad sequel, has he? Really? He's at this point. Hollywood.
Cameron's the man. Like you can always bet on Cameron to give you something.
But in this world of franchises and cinematic properties, I feel like he feels like he's got to compete with the Star Warses and the Marvels and the DCs.
I think he's gonna do fine. I'm not worried. James Cameron is the man. Like it's like just like George Miller.
Yeah,
fucking is the man.
Yeah,
James Cameron is the man.
Anthony says he wants to see Titanic 2, where it's all about the Hindenburg crashing.
Oh shit.
That would be great. Finally, last bit of funny news deals with Wizard World. Wizard World does a convention every year in Chicago late in the summer.
Yeah.
Well, they've announced the new convention, and it's on a cruise ship.
Oh shit.
This is
Damn.
Wizard World has announced plans for a December comic convention on a cruise ship. It's set for December 2nd to 5th, departing from the port of Miami and going to the Bahamas. It's a 3-night cruise aboard the Norwegian Sky. Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead is the lead guest right now. They're going to have Artist Alley. They're going to have cosplay contest, traditional exhibition vendors and exhibitors. Here's the price tag. $750 a person for the 3-day cruise. Includes meals, open bar, and photos with celebrity guests. Rugs, would you go to this?
I don't know.
I've never been on a cruise, but this
this
might get me on a fucking boat. I don't know about going on a boat to sea for that long.
I don't know. I would probably throw myself off the boat if I had to be around geeks all that time.
Anthony says that's pretty cheap for a cruise. Of course, the jock has been to all sorts of parties on all sorts of vehicles.
Now, it's weird because I don't want to be locked on a boat with a bunch of fat people who are sweaty, weird people who don't know how to bathe.
Can you just picture comic convention goers? Do you want to be on a boat with them for 3 days? That might be a good point.
Yeah, I've been to a Comic-Con. I've seen these people, and I'm one of these people. But I don't want to be trapped on a boat. I want to be able to get out of the confunk. I want to be able to get out of that smell.
I like this idea. They're trying something different. This guy at work, I know he goes every year to this rock cruise with old 80s metal bands like Rat and who else? Just those kind of obscure metal bands. He goes every year to the point where the bands know him and his wife, they're buddies because they're on this metal cruise. So it's
if you want to get to know somebody, but you probably could lock onto them and stalk them there, but I'm sure that they're gonna want to kill you.
Dude, Norman Reedus is gonna be so grumpy by the end of that cruise, shit. I imagine.
He might have his own deck, it's inaccessible for anybody.
I think Reedus will pull some guests. Anthony said they need some legit celebs on that. The Norman Reedus, that's a big get right there.
Yeah.
He's gonna have his own dick on the boat. All right, gang, that wraps up the news segment. Let's get to this week's TV shows.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Spoiler alert.
There's your first spoiler alert. For this week's TV shows, we are starting with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 16, titled Paradise Lost. Hold on a second. I dropped the cap to my water bottle, and I'm a clumsy fuck, and I have to find it.
I'm now watching Emran pick up stuff.
Okay, all good. No, dude, if I don't do that, I will short out this whole room. There'll probably be an electrical fire. What, Rugs? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., what'd you think of this episode? We got to learn a lot about Gideon Malik. Through flashbacks.
We learned about his childhood and how his dad was part of the, what do you call it, the Cabal? What is that?
It was part of he was part of this, it was Hydra, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Hydra's little meetings where they're trying to get what do they call him?
The Traveler? Anthony says the White Pebble Clan. Basically, they would do it. They had a ritual where you pick a rock out of a bag, and one of you gets sent over to Maveth as a sacrifice for the hive over there, I guess.
Yeah. So whoever picked the black rock had to jump into that pool of black gooey stuff, and then whatever that thing is would eat them.
But young Gideon Malik, I liked how the Malik brothers, initially Gideon was not down with Hydra. He didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah. And
you get to see Whitehall in the prison where he was placed by Agent Carter at the end of season 1. That was kind of a that was an awesome connection. And so he tells him, go check out this book, Paradise Lost, in your dad's library. And there's a little cheat rock with a notch. And the boys are just heartbroken that their dad was cheating to stay alive. But fuck, I would do the same thing. I'm not going through that fucking rock if I got a way around it.
Yeah, so basically, Malik finds out his dad's a fucking cheater, and then he's like, yeah, I would never do that, but then he does it. And he's a kid, and then his brother, who was also part of this group that draws the rocks out and gets picked.
Yep.
He gets picked, and his brother ends up dying or going over to Maveth, and then
heartbreaking.
Yeah. So anyway, so then Ward is Hive now, or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah, actually,
and
we found out
all the memories.
Yes.
He's got all the memories, and he's even got the memories of his brother.
He must have inhabited his brother. He remembers memories from everybody he's taken their body over.
Yeah, so he knew that Malik was kind of like not the guy to lead Hydra.
I mean, I love how he calls Gideon out in front of his daughter. Yeah. Here's my only problem with the white pebble shit. What if somebody fucking picks it before you do? They didn't think about that? What's the answer to that?
Oh, yeah. Well, then you can hold on to the white. I think you just switch them out in your hands.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you just reach in there with it and be like,
yeah.
Oh, that's what he did, because he popped it. Okay, I'm wrong. He popped it out of his sleeve and then pretended to pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. They closed the pothole there. Anyways, Hive, this whole time, Hive's like, I need a Malik. And we're like, is he going to kill Gideon or is he going to kill someone else? Because the last episode, Gideon got a flash and he tells us that he thinks he saw his death at the hands of Hive. So the whole time he's thinking he's going to go like tonight, because Hive just shows up in his house and calls the inner circle and shows everybody that he looks like the dude from Pirates of the Caribbean with tentacles. What was his name?
Yeah.
I don't know. We saw
John Oliver?
Yeah, John Oliver.
His name is something. I don't remember.
Isn't that, I forget his name, but we saw the back. We didn't see his face. We saw the back of his head and it was all slimy tentacles. Medusa. It was very Medusa-like too, Anthony. He's right. So he, instead of killing Malik, he kills his daughter. He goes, now
kills his hot daughter.
His hot daughter. He goes, now sacrifice. Now we're ready. I was like, oh shit, dude. Malik is all fucked up now.
Yeah, so basically that was most of the episode. What was the other stuff in the episode?
The other stuff was, well, there was a couple of great lines. May was like, I thought you killed him. And then she goes, well, you didn't kill him hard enough, which was great.
Yeah. That was that thing. That was really weird for Coulson to be like all bent out of shape over like not killing Ward good enough.
I know. Now he's like, what? But well, his reasoning is because I killed him, I gave birth to Hive. I shouldn't have. Basically, he's like, I shouldn't have killed him, but he didn't really have a choice. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was weird.
And meantime, Fitz and Simmons are kind of figuring out what the fuck Hive is. That he controls little organisms that eat other organisms. And that gives him life.
Yeah, I think he's like made up.
Anthony said.
Maybe he's like a big. Is he like a big swarm of stuff? Because like whenever he uses his powers, like little pieces fly off of him.
Well, yeah, he's a parasite, so like he's made up of a bunch of parasites.
Yeah.
Anthony's right. He says Coulson was pissed because he did it out of vengeance instead of, he let his emotions get the best of him, and that little slip up caused Hive Ward,
So what do you think of the episode? Did you like it? Were you a big fan?
It was good. There's a couple things I didn't buy. The whole fucking Lincoln thing where he's like, they go to visit his friend and he's like, oh, he almost killed his girlfriend. I'm like, I don't buy for 1 second that this dude almost killed anybody. He's too like pretty boy to be.
Yeah, but didn't he like get into an accident in a car?
Yeah, it turns out there was a little drunk driving and he wrapped the car on the tree and almost killed his girlfriend. But I don't know. But they visit a friend of theirs from Afterlife that didn't get powers, and they get this Kree ball. What is this ball?
I'm reading the stupid chat.
What's in the chat? Okay,
he's talking about balls in my mouth, Anthony. He's not here, but he's fucking me up now. I gotta not look at that. All right, so what were you saying? You're saying something about the Kree balls?
Look, listener, I'm wearing a shirt with my face. Only a douchebag would do that. It's the Jock and Nerd podcast shirt. We'll explain more at the end of the show for all you people. Anyways, look, we have another thing I like was Guerra, the little showdown with Guerra where they kind of lock him in with May and they have a nice little battle and there's nothing he can throw around because he can like move stuff with his hands. But he fucking gets out of that. At the end, he dives the plane down into Hydra. Meanwhile, Lincoln and Daisy are on the Quinjet, and I kind of enjoyed at the end where they're like, Secret Warriors assemble. They're going to go find Yo-Yo. They're going to find Joey Gutierrez. They're going to have to do a little save mission. Like, it all went to shit at the end. So that was...
So there's just 4 of them.
So right now, there's the 4 of them. I think one of them ain't going to make it to the end of the season also. So
no Yo-Yo for you?
No. No Yo-Yo.
You can't have somebody who doesn't speak English.
You can't play with my Yo-Yo. But I liked that part. And I didn't expect that ending with Ghira escaping and whatnot.
I know it was cool to at least get the whole, skinny on Hive and know what he's about and know that he's fucking badass. So
yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I like that they didn't, they told us what Malik saw in his flashback. They're giving us information. The show is moving forward. It's good stuff. Any final thoughts, Ruggs?
No, I enjoyed the episode.
It was an entertaining intermission. That's what Jordan says. Okay, moving on to the next show.
Doc and Nerd.
Bro, do you even podcast?
Spoiled.
I threw a little Anthony sound clip in there. We are going to be talking about this week's, you know what? I got my notes all confused because I want to, here we go. Supergirl on CBS. Yeah.
I watched it.
Good. Season 1, episode 19, titled Myriad. Now, we discussed the last episode of Supergirl because it was the awesome, charming, fun Flash Supergirl crossover.
Yeah.
This episode starts right after that one ended because if you remember, the very end, she kisses James and everyone is a zombie and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And we find out what Myriad is. This whole season, they've been like, Myriad's ready. Myriad's almost going to go.
It's actually pretty cool.
Explain what the Myriad is. Russ.
All right. So on Krypton, the whole planet was going to shit. And all these guys were saying, hey, you got to do something about this. Krypton's going to explode because we're ruining all the resources and we're using everything up and we're drilling and fucking up everything and the environment. And people are like, nah, shut the fuck up. So they couldn't get anyone on board with this. So the plan that the terrorists were using, the ones that Kara was fighting with Astra and Nan and all those guys, their terrorist plan wasn't to blow shit up.
No.
Their terrorist plan was to use this thing called Myriad, which is basically a mind control device. And he's like, look, if you guys don't want to listen and take care of the planet, we're going to mind control you into doing it. So it was this thing that sends out a signal and basically controls everybody. You can make them do whatever you want.
He created a giant think tank, as kind of they said it. Everybody was on computers figuring out the world's problems, right? So right away, you're like, oh, none wants to help, but there's probably better ways to do this. We got some superhero battles in this episode. That was fun. Maxwell Lord working for the good guys. So everyone is affected except for Supergirl. Maxwell Lord, and I love when Cat Grant walks in and she doesn't even notice that people are zombies. She's just like, I thought they were quiet. And the reason being, Maxwell Lord sent her some earrings that have these blockers, and he's got a blocker.
Just in case, a little convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. So the 3 of them are the only ones that aren't affected by the Myriad, but I really loved her conflict and her doubt. She was like, I don't know what to do here. I need help, and there's nobody who can help me. Meanwhile, Lucy Lane releases all the fucking prisoners at the DEO. She's got to go stop them. All hell's breaking loose. And she's just like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Like, it's great. And here's the great part. Clark is off world somewhere, is what they say, right?
That's what they said.
And if you notice, when she was in the Fortress of Solitude talking to the old robot, I think the Legion ring was missing. So maybe he's off with the Legion of Superheroes. Anyway,
yeah, but no. But then you see him go in with everybody. He flies down and he goes.
That's the most hilarious thing. He texts her.
That was stupid.
He texts her. Look, guys, Superman was in this episode. He texts her, I'm on my way. And she's standing on a balcony. She's looking down. You see all the people walking. They're real tiny. And way in the distance, you see Clark. You see Superman flying. He's getting a little bit bigger. And then he instantly flies down and becomes a mindless zombie.
Oh, shit.
And Maxwell...
And their excuse is that he's been on Earth so long that his brain is more human than Kara's. and that's why she's not affected. Bullshit.
The line is basically Superman was brought to his knees because by going to school and watching Sesame Street, that his brain is more human. Whew, that was a rough one. Dude,
He's not a zombie like Anthony asks. He's a zombie. No, he's just mindless. He's just like under mind control.
But if he's being mind controlled, like, why would a nun be using him for something important? Like, you would think he would use him to take the others down. It was just kind of shoehorned in there.
Yeah, it was bad. They just need to here's Superman. Here he is. Look at him.
And sort of. Here's Superman. Sort of. I love how Kat drops the Harrison Ford line where she's like, tell him I'm not interested, because she's married to him, and she gets to drop his real name. How about that scene where Nan is there at the office and he's like, Supergirl, stay the fuck out of this. And he sends Win, Jim Olsen, and random office worker to each leap off of the balcony at the same time. At which point, Supergirl can only save two of them. Guess which two she saves, of course.
The people that we know.
The people who have cast
that crazy.
Yes.
That very unlucky secretary that they alluded to in the beginning of the episode.
She didn't make
Splatters
it.
all over the ground.
Which, first of all, she could have fucking caught her too. You're Supergirl. Just go faster. But
did you see that shot of her just like looking at her fall like an idiot?
But you know what? I kind of appreciated that reaction. That horrified reaction is kind of what I wanted Henry Cavill's look to be after the bombing of DC. Like, he should have had that look. Horrified. Yeah. Like he fucked up. Instead, he just kind of stood there looking slightly bored for some reason.
Yeah, you look like the face that you make when someone throws a drink in your face.
You're like,
like
Anthony's face is on my nipple right now.
Like, this is preposterous.
But that's what I liked about that little moment. I was like, you could have fucking saved her, but I get it was the horror of being helpless. And then that Indigo, she stabs John and leaves him bleeding. Is he gonna die? You think he's gonna die? They're not killing him off right away. Martian Manhunter.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
That was kind of a fun fight where he threw her into the shed, and for some reason, this wooden shed in the middle of the street like explodes. I don't know why it would explode.
Nobody knows.
No. Okay, so here's what the big takeaway I took from this episode. I kind of felt like this was like a direct counterpoint to Batman versus Superman, in the sense that Cat Grant at the end, when Kara is just at her wit's end, she doesn't know what to do. She gives her this awesome little pep talk. Calista Flockhart's great in the show. She gives her this pep talk about we need to use hope instead of fear, like that symbol on your chest. This will break the people out of Myriad's a spell. This, and I feel like this is directly counterpoint. That's opposite of Batman versus Superman, where it's fear instead of hope. She's like, no, hope. We need hope. What do you think of that? I like that.
I think it's cool.
Right?
You know, it's more in tune to what the comics are about. You know, symbol of hope. Superman, Supergirl, symbols of hope.
Absolutely. Always they do the right thing.
I mean,
no matter what.
It's simple math.
1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I'm not good at numbers. And then finally, this show, they always end on great kind of cliffhangers, and then it just starts right there the next episode. You know, they figured out, let's go to a old TV station, analog TV station, because Nan has like jacked all of the signals. Everything's taken over. They're going to send out some kind of hopeful message. But before they do that, Alex, her sister, shows up, mind controlled, in armor, wielding the sword she used to kill her and Astra.
Yeah, that's very Batman versus Superman too.
Holy shit. Nan is like
she's Batman.
Yeah, she with the armor. Oh shit, yeah. Good call, Rob. I didn't even get that. And he's like, one of you ain't walking away from this fight, and they leap in the air and cuts the end of episode. Then you know what? We're gonna have to talk about the next episode because it is the season finale. I gotta see what the fuck happens. I gotta see what the fuck happens next week. So
I'll do it just to piss Anthony off. I'll watch Supergirl just to make him go, I don't hate this show.
Listen, it's getting
it does suck, but like whatever. But I'm watching it anyway.
It's improved.
It's got Benoist.
It's got Bemoist. It's got everyone's favorite fappening Melissa Bemoist. So that was the Supergirl, and yeah, we'll come back and we'll check out the season finale next week. Moving on.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Spoiler time. Oh, the gypsy jazz music is not bullshit, Anthony. Go fuck off. He's trolling.
Horseshit.
Anthony is trolling his own show in the comments. Does that make any sense?
Nerd.
Anybody? We got to troll.
Someone's got to do it. I mean, it's either him or David Zika. Which one?
Zika's not here, so Anthony will take his place. David Zika, I really hope you join the Facebook group. I want to have conversations with you. We're going to talk about this week's Legends of Tomorrow and a little bit last week's Legends of Tomorrow, being as how it was preempted for the basketball, which is bullshit. Just show it on another fucking thing. I don't know. Show it later. I don't know. So real quick, Ruggs, season 1, episode 10, Progeny from last week that you watched. It's in the future. You were right about the fashion. For some reason, in the future, nobody likes colors. Everybody's just wearing gray and black.
But did you see it was like just a suit jacket with the collar popped up?
Yes. If you take any jacket and you raise the collar, you know how there's that black fabric underneath that you're not supposed to see? That's the fashion now. So people are just lazy in the future. But
I love it. Is they took a suit jacket, they put it on an ironing board, and they ironed the crease out of it, and then they made it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what the wardrobe department did for the future.
Jordan's like, so like the early 2000s. Yeah. So the 20-year fashion cycle. This comes back around in 2147, I guess. Who knows?
It's terrible.
I loved this whole. Would you kill baby Hitler if you had the chance? This is a very, very tough philosophical question. I think they should have killed the little bastard, and I was kind of upset that they fucking.
Yeah, he was a little shit.
He was a little piece of shit per decaton. That was.
I don't know. I don't know. I could call him Megatron.
Per Megatron, but you know what? Per Decaton was a longtime DC Comics villain who is actually a Nazi in the comics.
Oh shit!
And he fucking kills his dad right away. And instead of delaying his rise to power that eventually Vandal kills him and takes over, they just kind of sped it up by not killing him. It was very
so basically, like, they think that if they talk like really mean, if they talk really sternly to perverted Megatron, he'll do something different.
Decaton.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Rip was gonna talk him out of being an evil mass murderer. That didn't work. No. That kid is gone. Fucking take him out. Just like those kids in Walking Dead. They needed to go. That one girl. She was damaged goods. Damaged goods. We also saw a lot of Kendra starting to get flashbacks of her old life with Carter. And we got to see young Aldous Boardman, the dude who was their son in the pilot who died. You get to see him as a kid. And then we have this whole resolution between Snart and Mick Rory, where they have Mick captured, and Snart's like, look, if you beat me and kill me, you can go. If I kill you, then I kill you. And they fight, and of course, Mick can't fucking do it. He beats the fuck out of him pretty good.
Yeah.
But at the end, Mick is he's all in on their side, and he's like, you guys were a little fucked because the Time Masters are pissed, and they're sending the hunters after him. The Time Masters, for people who are like in an enlightened future society, they hire a lot of assassins for some reason.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to get our hands dirty. We're above that.
And then not only that, they have backup assassins for when the first fucking assassin doesn't work. They got a whole thing lined up.
Yeah, that's very, very thin at best, that story right there.
Anthony says the future is bullshit anyways. So that leads into this week's episode 11, called The Magnificent Eight. Takes place in the Wild West, a little play on the Magnificent Seven, an amazing Western movie. And basically they time jump the fuck out of there. And they're in something called a temporal fragmentation, where the Time Masters can't find them. And it's 1871, the Old West. Anthony says the Time Masters are more incompetent than the League. The League of Assassins, absolutely. And Rip just has enemies in every timeline, in every time era. There's somebody there who he's.
Oh, the Rip story is fucking gold, because his whole thing was he like stays in the ship. He's like, I can't go out there because I like it too much. I like the Old West too much. I'm like, shut the fuck up. This is so dumb. Like, he can't go out. Like, what kind of an idiot? Like, he can't, like, ooh, if I go out to that Wild West, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay here. I like the dirty, smelly people.
Why would you look? That's a good point. Why would you want to stay anywhere before fucking sanitation and like soap and shit?
Yeah, there must have been gonorrhea running wild over there.
Well, but Ray Palmer could relate because the sense of I can actually make a difference here, and even Stein was getting sucked in to being in the Old West, and they didn't want to leave. I love the little slow-mo posse walk in the beginning where they're all like badasses walking through.
What do you think of Jonah Hex?
So we get to meet Jonah Hex. I was okay with the Jonah Hex. I like the little backstory. I wish we got to know him a little bit more. The actor playing him, I thought, did a very good job.
Jonathan Shake is fine. It's just that Jonah Hex makeup never looks good. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on it. It's just weird looking. Like they should do it different for the screen. It just doesn't look right.
And it doesn't. The Wild West is Rip's Brokeback Mountain. Shit. That's very good and very accurate. Anthony thinks Jonah sucked. He had no charisma. He was kind of flat. The makeup, at least explain like why his face is all burnt up and shit. Have you seen the movie with the Brolin, the Josh Brolin?
Yeah, I've seen it.
How was that?
It's shitty.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it was better than Batman versus Superman by a long stretch.
Oh shit! Snap. Take that.
It made more sense as a movie. I don't know. I watch it. Megan Fox is in it.
Anthony's right. It was the one character who could talk with even more gravelly voice than Mick Rory, where he's like but I like how he calls him out right away. He's like, "Yo, time travelers, when are you all from?" And the reason is that Rip was there a few years ago in Calvert, and there's the Stillwater gang, and there was another gang, and he sent them away. Just like these guys were like, we're going to stay, we're going to fight the Stillwater gang. And Jonah's like, that's great, but what happens when you leave? And what happened at Calvert was they came back and they burned the whole fucking town down and killed everybody. And Rip needs to make up for that, obviously. I love the fact that Sarah can outdrink Mick in the fucking saloon. That must be some nasty-ass liquor they're drinking, too.
Yeah, of course she can. She can do everything cool.
That Jordan says, when I think of Stillwater, I think of the town in Oklahoma. I think that's the Calvert was in Oklahoma. I think they were in Oklahoma in this episode in the Old West. Yeah. And then we learn Stein is good at cards, so he's got a little dirty past where
he smokes weed.
Oh, that's right. He smokes weed when he was younger, and he's playing cards. What'd you think?
He got laid a lot.
I don't know why these people continue to meddle in the past. Like, he just meets this woman. His kid is dying from TB, and we find out.
But he's H.G. Wells.
Well, that's the thing. It turns out this kid is H.G. Wells, who wrote the book The Time Machine. That's kind of a cute little. Now, well, does that mean that this was always supposed to happen?
Yeah, pretty much.
He was supposed to save the kid. Wow, that's crazy. He even tells the mom, like, destroy these vials once he's better, because this is like future medicine.
Yeah, well, the kid probably figured it out. You know, it made sense that obviously the shit that he did, all this shit that's going on in the town, all these people flying around in armor and wings and shit.
I mean, the whole town saw this, and instead of like, I love when he's like, you got one of those mind wipey things? And Rip's like, no. He's like, look, no one's going to believe anything anybody says here. It'll be fine. And, the kid writes a book. Now, let's talk about this Kendra situation. She bumps into this woman. She's got these weird flashbacks. She's like, I know this woman. She's being drawn to this place. They're on horseback. Sarah's having a good time. She's actually smiling and enjoying the simple life. And it turns out it was, Listerbait says this was a quantum leap moment. It turns out that woman was her in a previous, past, future incarnation. What did you make of this?
Well, Hawk Girl dies
over and over again. Yeah.
Over and over again through time. So there could be versions of her anywhere that they go. It just so happened that they fell into one this time. And she talks to her, and the old lady says, listen, whatever you do, you're gonna always want Hawkman.
Yeah.
Because he's your soulmate. And so anything that you get, she's like, I tried to date all these other guys. It doesn't matter how big your dicks are, anything. You're always gonna want Hawkman.
You're always gonna what? And he had a different name with her. I forgot what it was. But Kendra chooses at the end not to listen to this. She's like, you know what? Fuck my old future past other self. I love you, Ray. And I was like, all right,
Yeah,
that's not.
She never met Ray Palmer.
Yeah, she hasn't met Ray Palmer. But that I liked. Look, I like that they did not use her in old person makeup because first of all, I don't think the actor would be able to pull that off. Just between
No, she could never. She's not that great of an actress.
But the lady playing her, Anna Devere Smith, this woman is actually she's an amazing playwright. She's an amazing actor. She's been doing television and plays since the 80s. She was in like soap operas in the 70s. Like there's a high caliber casting here with the Anna Devere Smith. So I was kind of surprised to see her in this, but she was really good as old her, future her, whatever.
Old Hawker.
Old Hawker. Also, I love the moment where they go to get Stillwater. They actually run out of bullets.
Yeah.
When the fuck does this happen on a TV show?
And they leave the guy behind.
And they fucking leave Jax behind. I was like, wow.
Like you pussies.
Yeah. That was crazy. But they're like, we have leverage, and there's of course, you're in the Wild West. You got to do the Wild West shootout at noon. High noon shootout in the middle of the street. And Rip steps up. He's like, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make up for it. And so Rip's the quicker shooter, takes the dude down. They drop him immediately into a coffin. And you think everything's done when all of a sudden,
Oh, shit.
the fucking hunters show up. And the whole team has to get together. Firestorm has to firestorm up. Adam's in his suit. They've taken them down. And the hunters tell them, this isn't over. The Time Masters have initiated Omega protocols. The Pilgrim is coming to get you.
It's Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim and his 7 ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, well,
Not his
it's
boyfriend.
supposed to be a chick, right?
Yeah, which the Pilgrim is a woman assassin. Their most deadliest assassin. She's going to be hunting their younger selves. So now they got to fly around and check all their younger selves without paradoxing the time stream.
Fight.
Oh boy,
You know?
who do you think it's going to be?
Canary versus the assassin. It's going to be a showdown, lowdown.
Anthony wants to know, why do the Time Masters assassins dress in bondage? It's kind of kinky.
Because you need to have a lot of restrictions when you're going through time, because your balls can go all over space and time.
They need space-time jock straps specifically made to protect their space-time balls.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know why I hit that. That's why. Because he wears jock straps around his neck. I thought that's how you're supposed to wear them. Like when you're creating a woman, like in Weird Science, you wear them on
He wears
he
wears the jock piece over his mouth like Bane.
Only for the jock, he's the jock, so it's just called straps. You don't have to call them jock straps. It's just a given.
He just calls it a strap.
So next week they're gonna have to go fucking chase down and deal with the Pilgrim. And also comes out that it's been renewed for the season 2. So we're gonna get more Legends.
Oh, cool.
Confirmed. It's again another just fun popcorn, don't even think about it. Enjoy
It doesn't
yourself.
matter because there's no major characters here that that are really beloved. Like Shiara's the only one that has any clout because she was in the Justice League cartoon. Everybody else is disposable. I mean, Adam is kind of disposable. Like he's not even the real Adam. He's like Iron Man. So it's like none of these things are that close to the real thing. So they could pretty much do whatever they want. Like they don't have to worry about being beholden to anything.
I mean,
so it's fine.
Rip has a lot of ties to like Booster Gold and a bunch of other things. And man, I just love Katie Lotz on this show. Like she's my favorite character on the show all the time. I don't know why.
She's a pretty decent actor.
Yeah, and she can fight, dude.
And she's a dancer. So if you ever saw that's some stupid movie that was kind of like a Step Up movie, the biggest dance contest. She was in that. And she could dance really well. So she obviously knows choreography and how to like timing and all that shit and how to move her body. So she makes a very convincing Canary, just like Summer Glau when she was in Serenity and Firefly. She was able to pull off all that stuff because she was a trained dancer as well. So I think dancers translate well for martial arts.
Absolutely. And as Anthony's commented, we know her a little bit more than the other characters, don't we? We've seen her in 2 seasons of Arrow. The viewers have a history with her, and it just helps to have all this time with her. And the fact that, you know, she came back to life, trained with the League twice. She's been dead, alive. Like, it's awesome. It's a great character.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get to the last show.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Let's spoil some shit, Batman.
I feel a lot of hate bashing is going to happen right now because people...
I didn't watch it.
What?
I didn't watch Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead. It's the season premiere. Ruggs. How could you not watch it?
I don't like it, so I don't want to watch it.
But
I didn't know I had to watch it.
If you didn't watch it, how do you know you're not going to like it? Well, you're not